everybody. I actually had a mama of two little boys that I had in preschool a long time ago. I don't even want to talk about how old those boys are now, but she suggested that I make a video of our silly spooky story that I tell my class every year around Halloween. And this story I heard as a little girl when I went to Girl Scout camp, and I have told every class of kids I've ever had this story, and I always tell it around Halloween. And you all probably remember it, all my little boys and girls that are watching right now. And when we told it at school, remember when we told it around Halloween, we turned out the lights. So I'm going to tell this silly spooky story that's a little bit spooky, but a lot silly. It's not scary. So if you want to turn out the lights before you listen to your story, turn them out right now, okay? So our silly spooky story starts in the woods. In the woods there's a house, and in the house there lived a mommy and a daddy and a brother and a sister and a little tiny baby. And in their house they had a kitchen, and in their kitchen they had a table, and on the table there was $1. So one day the sister walked in the kitchen and she saw the dollar on the table, and she said, like, totally awesome, there's $1 on that table, I'm gonna take that $1. And she put her hand out to get the $1, but she heard a big thump. And then she heard, I'm the ghost of Mable, leave the $1 on the table. And she went, ah! And she ran away. Then the brother came in the kitchen. He saw the $1 on the table, and he said, cool, dude, somebody left $1 on that table. I'm gonna take that $1. So he put his hand out to get the $1, but then he heard a big thump, and he heard, I'm the ghost of Mable, leave the $1 on the table. And the brother went, ah! And he ran away. Then the mommy came in the kitchen, and she saw the $1 on the table, and she said, well, isn't that just so nice? Somebody left $1 on that table. I'm going to take that $1. And she put her hand out to get the $1. And then she heard a big thump. And she heard, I'm the ghost of Mable, leave the $1 on the table. And the mama went, ah! And she ran away. And then the daddy came in the kitchen, and he saw the $1 on the table, and he said, well, isn't that so nice? Somebody left $1 on that table. I'm going to take that $1. So he put his hand out to get the $1, and he heard a big thump. And then he heard, I'm the ghost of Mable, leave the $1 on the table. And the daddy went, ah! And he ran away. Then the only person in the family that's left is the little bitty baby. So the little bitty baby comes walking in the kitchen, and he's walking like this with his little short legs, and he's saying, coo, coo, caca, coo, coo, coo. And he looks up, because he's so little and the table's so big, over his head. He looks up over his head, and he sees that $1, and he has to reach his hand way up over his head because he's so little, and he wants to get that $1 that he sees on top of that high table. And he puts his hand up, and he hears a big thump. And then he hears, I'm the ghost of Mable, leave the $1 on the table. And the baby says, I don't care if you're the ghost of Peter Piper, I'm putting this $1 in my diaper. So the sister was afraid, the brother was afraid, the mom was afraid, the daddy was afraid. The baby wasn't afraid. The baby said, I don't care if you're the ghost of Peter Piper, I'm putting this $1 in my diaper. So that's our story. It's a little bit spooky, but a lot silly. So tell and retell this story as much as you want, lights on or off, and have a great time. Mwah.